Hey guys, Miss Kennedy here. We're going to look at slope and finding the slope of 2 points, and we're going to do it 2 different ways. So one is to graph it and the other is to use the slope formula. And let's get started. So if we are going to plot these 2 points, so at 1, -1, I'm going to go right 1, down 1 and put a point. And -3, 3, I'm going to go left 3 and then up 3 and put a point. Okay. When I connect the 2 dots, then I have found my slope. And so it'll look something like this. Yeah, I missed it, didn't I? Let's do it again. Let's see if I can hit them better this time. That's a little closer. Okay, a little bit better, not perfect. But if you followed me for any amount of time, you know I will not be perfect when I do these things. All right. And it still works. It still gets the job done. So it's a good lesson in life. Okay. So based on that, we can use the rise over the run, and we can pretty much just kind of count our way from one point to the other. So up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4 and then left 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So left 4, that's a -4. And so I know that my slope is -1. Now, overall, I can see that this is a negative slope anyway, because it's going down as we go to the right, right? So that makes sense. I should have gotten a negative number for my answer. If you got a positive number, it means that you didn't make one of these negative. And so, that's always a good thing, is just to look at that, just like back up and just look at the overall picture and be like, okay, this is going downward as we go to the right. I know it's a negative slope. So my answer should be a negative number. Okay. Now that's one way. That's using the rise over run method, right? And graphing. So now let's use the formula where we subtract the y's over subtract your x's. And so we would say this is like our first x and y. This is our second x and y. A coordinate point, it's always x, y. It's like alphabetical order. So I'm subtracting my y's. So I've got 3 minus -1. Minus negative means it's plus. And then over the x. So the second x is -3 minus, and then a 1. Okay. So 3 plus 1 is 4. -3 minus 1 is -4. Looks familiar, right? That's exactly what we had here. And 4 divided by -4 is -1. So 2 different ways to get the same outcome, same answer, because the slope of these 2 points is a -1 slope. All right. I hope that helps. I know this can be confusing and it can be frustrating, right? And so as you're doing these, I do want you to think about that it's okay if you're not getting it at first. In fact, I want to show you this. Like sometimes we feel like, I hate when I mess up. I feel that way. I have to really fight that urge to want to quit if I mess up on something. I mean, personally, that's something that I struggle with. And so if I'm working to replace that mindset with I'm resilient, meaning I can keep trying even when I'm making mistakes, and I can learn from them. So, if you forgot to change the minus and negative to a plus, or if you plotted the points in the wrong place, like you went right when you should have gone left, or you went up first instead of going left or right, like, okay, it's okay. I mean, you are surrounded by millions of other teenagers who have done the same thing. I've seen it in my own work with hundreds of them. So I can testify to that. You're not alone. But you're resilient. You can learn from it. So keep that mindset as you're working. All right. I'll see you next time.